Dallin Schultz and Paul Karchner here. We've got something unique for you guys today. So in our experience and with our time interviewing capital raisers, talking to them and serving them through our capital raising CRM, there's a lot of questions that come up. Questions that we ask to better clarify where they're at, or questions that they ask to better understand the functionality of the tool. And these come up so frequently. What Paul and I decided to do was actually put together or compile a list of these questions and then respond to them in one setting. So you guys are going to get a ton of information right here, right now, over the next few minutes. And so what we're going to do is just go back and forth and alternate on these questions that we've extracted from previous conversations. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Question number one is, what do you think causes most capital raisers to focus more on getting money instead of earning investor trust?
I think gaining trust with any relationship, it doesn't matter. Gaining trust for anything takes a long time, and people think their mind is so stuck on, okay, I gotta underwrite a deal, I gotta acquire a deal, I gotta close the deal, and they're like, oh shoot, now I need to raise capital. And they think that it's gonna be a quick thing. Like, hey, I got this awesome deal, I can pitch it to anybody, we're great operators, I'm gonna get the money, right? But really, if we think about it, it's you need to attract the money before the deal even happens. And so, like, you like to refer to it as the trust timeline rather than the pipeline. And so trust does take time for people to know what you're doing, why you do it, and what makes you credible to even manage a deal and even be the steward of somebody's capital.
I think people like the quick hit of raising capital. It's like, oh, I just got $100,000 investor. Where's the next one coming from? And because of that, they focus more on how much they're raising rather than the trust that's required. Because to your point, it takes time.
Yeah. And anybody that's done it knows that, yeah, you might get lucky sometimes with getting the capital, but you're going to get some of the capital, and then later on, it's going to be harder.
Yeah.
So building that trust is really important. Cool. When it comes to emails actually landing in people's inboxes, not in the spam or promotions folder, what have you witnessed to have the greatest impact on overall deliverability?
Ooh, that's a good one. And this is something we actually talk a lot about, and probably not enough. And the reality is it doesn't matter how good your CRM or how good those emails look or how well the copy is. If they're not hitting people's inboxes, it doesn't matter. And so there's really a handful of things that you and I have really witnessed, and we help a lot of users on. Some of the things that we've seen have the biggest impact. Number one is avoiding designer emails. And that's tough because a lot of people want to build their brand. They want to build their image. So having a nice, beautiful email with all the images, the links, the videos, that triggers spam filters quicker than anything else. And then there is the whole DNS records, making sure all that stuff is set up properly, which is a little bit more technical. But great thing is for our users, we walk them through that on their onboarding so they don't even have to worry about it. And then I'd say number three that really impacts deliverability, this is something that a lot of people don't talk about as much, is list segmentation. And what I mean by that is sending emails to the right people based on what they want, what they're looking for. When you send a general email to your entire list and it doesn't apply, we've all been there. We've all gotten those spam emails. We're like, I'm not interested in this, and we unsubscribe. That hurts your email reputation. And your email reputation is much like your credit score. And so having that list segmentation, knowing what types of emails people actually want to get is huge, because we experience this and some of our users have as well. To put this into perspective, a good open rate for email marketing is 40 to 60%. Like, that's good.
Yeah,
and I would say, I'm pretty sure almost all of our users are in that range.
Yeah.
And if they're not, it's usually a quick fix that we're able to get in and figure out what it is. So 40 to 60% in our industry, that's a good open rate. A few weeks ago, we sent out an email. It was close to 1,500 people. We had another user send out an email. It was to maybe a few hundred in his list. We experienced an 84% open rate. And this user experienced an 82% open rate. And it's not just because of the technical and tactical stuff that we had in place for them, but they sent it to a very warm list. People that knew them, people that were opening, and they were engaged. So I'd say those 3 things are huge when it comes to email deliverability. And there's no guarantee you're going to hit an inbox.
Yeah,
there really isn't.
It's really the nature of the beast with any CRM.
Yeah.
Right. But we do everything we can to have best practices in the account setup and just the way that we format emails. Plus, like, even if it's a designer email, yeah, it looks pretty, but people, like, I don't know. It's kind of a turnoff.
It is.
Like,
I mean, when you see
what
it,
are you selling me?
yeah.
You know?
As soon as I see a designer email, I'm like, sale, and I close out of it. Now, if you're sending that to the right people, maybe it's for a deal launch and you want to put some more information about the deal, right? That would be more appropriate. But again, to a segmented list.
Yeah.
So I think just having some etiquette around that. Yeah, it's a good one. It's one we talk about. We should probably talk about more, actually. So, all right. So second question for you, Paul. When you think about the investors you've connected with the most, so this is a more personal question. So when you think about the investors you've connected with the most, what made those relationships different from the rest?
It goes back to the first question you asked, is trust. Like, a lot of the investors, truthfully, have been people that I've known for a really long time. A few here, that I've known for a year or 2 maybe. But most of them are people that I've known for a really long time. And this is what's so important. And like Will Smith, there's a video out there with Will Smith being interviewed, School of Hard Knocks, right? And he talks about everywhere you go, people are pretty much watching. You never know who you're going to do business with. So it's not like you don't need to be fake around people, but be genuine and just treat people good. Because again, you never know if they're going to be your next $1 million investor or not. And so to go along with that is having a system in place to be able to automate some of those consistent touch points. Because I used to be like, I'd go through my contacts and, a name would pop out and I would text them, hey, thinking about you, how's your day going? And that's really helpful. I recommend everybody do that because it is genuine. But if you do have a CRM or some sort of system in place to do 80-90% of those touch points and staying top of mind, that's what I've really realized with some of our investors is they're in touch with what's going on. Yeah. So that when you do manually reach out, it's a lot easier. What's one technical fix that immediately improves your email deliverability?
Okay. So pretty much in line. I got to go right back to this will be a quick one. The list segmentation. The list segmentation. Yes, there's other things you can do, but I can't stress this enough. Like, send people emails what they want. Like, get them to opt in and then just segment that list. And I shared in the last question, if done properly, you can experience significantly higher open rates. That's how we were getting 84% open rates on those emails. And this wasn't a small list. So this wasn't us sending to 10 people and being like, oh, we got 85%, right? This was almost 1,500 people in our contact list that we emailed. That's significant. So list segmentation.
Can I add something real quick?
Please.
So we help users out from time to time with their emails, kind of automations and things. We have a user that does like monthly webinars. Okay. Beautifully written copy emails. The subject line was like beautiful, right? It's good, it's catchy, whatever. But we've noticed that keeping it simple of like live webinar in the subject line, live webinar next week about investing with self-directed IRA. Like, just keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. It doesn't have to be, AI written and all this fancy stuff. Just keep it simple and let people know what it is.
And what they're going to get from it.
Yeah, right off the bat, what they're going to get from it. So.
We're all conscious of time and where we're spending it. It's like, stop trying to sell me on all this fluff. Like, what is it? Who's speaking? What's it about? And then if it's pertinent to me, I'm going to register for it. So I think that's a really good point. All right. So why do you think so many people underestimate how emotionally draining capital raising can be?
I think like people that are new to it, I think it's just the culture in our industry is underwriting the deal, learning how to underwrite the deal. It's very important. It is. How to find a deal, how to talk to brokers. But it seems like that the capital raising part gets pushed to the back burner. And so, they've got all this stress up front of, okay, how do I find a good deal? they get a good deal and then they try to raise capital, and there's so many other moving parts in there that they don't quite know that they can automate with the capital raising process. And so I think it's just emotional draining. It's like, man, you got life, you got kids, maybe you got family, maybe you have a full-time job too. You're trying to do it all. Yeah. And they just don't realize how emotional draining it really is.
I'm going to throw something in here. Naturally, I'm not an empathetic person, and I have personality. I talk about this all the time. I'm very open about it. It's not that I can't be empathetic. It just takes a little bit more effort. And I have personality assessments that prove this. Like there's one that we absolutely love. We use it all the time. It's called Clifton Strengths. And there's 34 strengths. And based on how you answer these 177 questions, it ranks on 1 through 34. And the whole idea is that it encourages you to focus on the top 10. These are your strengths. This is what energizes you. Empathy for me was 32 out of 34. So it's definitely on the lower end. So for me, when it comes to capital raising, you need to be empathetic. These people are providing and trusting you with their hard-earned capital. So naturally not being empathetic, again, it's not that I can't be, it just requires more effort and focus for me. So for me on a personal level, that's emotionally draining. And I like people, but trying to put yourself in their shoes, empathize with them when it doesn't come to you naturally, that is emotionally and mentally draining for me. And so I think that definitely plays a role.
That's true. Like if you're underwriting deals, you don't have to really deal with the emotions of people.
Yeah.
And like trying to sell or influence another person.
Yeah.
That's a good point. How are you currently tracking investor engagement? Do you know who's opening, clicking, or ghosting?
Yeah, like that's like CRM 101. Yeah. And for all of our users that are coming in, and we have this conversation with people when we talk at events and at workshops, that should be one of the first things you implement in place. Because what it does is it takes the guesswork out of where people are at. So within Capitallyst Pro, there's an entire system and a point system set up. So we're tracking, or I should say quantifying, we're adding points for different actions they take. And the larger the action, or the more engaged the action, the larger the points. For example, if somebody opens an email, we give them 5 points. Small. Like give them 5 points. They open an email, good. They're engaged. If somebody schedules a call with us, they get way more points, because if they're scheduling a call, what does that say about their level of engagement? So there's probably, I think we've got about 10 things in there that we really focus on. And once that's set up, it's automatically tracking their engagement. So then we can look at a quick glance and say, hey, this person's much more engaged than this one. I'm going to give this person a call. And so it really helps you be more efficient and effective with your time.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the number one underrated feature of CRM.
People think they need a beautiful website and all these like lead magnet forms and stuff. It's like, but what if you had a tool to track and nurture and know where people are at that are already in your CRM? All right. So what belief do you see holding most new capital raisers back from scaling their results?
Right off the top of my mind, I go to, even with a system in place, the best success that we've seen from our users and ourselves with capital raising is having one person on the team dedicated to the system, to the CRM, figuring out new workflows, tracking engagement, all that good stuff. If you have someone dedicated, even if it's, a virtual assistant or something like that, have somebody that you can dedicate fully to the system.
I agree 100% with you. And this is why we're going to tease it a little bit right now. This is why we're going to be partnering with a recruiting agency to not only find these technical VAs that can assist our users, but we're putting together a Capitallyst Pro certification program that then these virtual assistants can go through. They can take it, they can master it, and it's going to get them up to speed so that our users now have that person on their team dedicated for it, rather than trying to go out and find it for themselves. So we're excited to roll that out. But yeah, I agree. Having that person that's dedicated to it, we can see it.
Yeah.
We can see it in the results and how their raises are going. So it's pretty significant. Like it.
How much time each week could capital raisers save if their CRM automatically updated lead stages and tasks for them?
So this was something, I don't know if you remember us doing this early on when we first launched Capitallyst Pro. Yeah. We had the same question. So we went through and we just looked at what we did on a weekly basis for raising capital, and then what we now have in place. And when we calculated that out, minimum 10 hours a week.
Yeah, with conservative.
And with that, I'd say that was back when we started. So when we were newer to the systems, automations, and really what functionality CRMs could do. So I'd say minimum 10 hours a week. And a lot of the people we talk to, I like getting a poll of how much do you value your time? What is your hourly rate? And the cool thing is, in entrepreneurship and business and sales, whatever you're involved in this area, we don't necessarily go by hourly rates, but that's a lot of us grew up in a W-2 world or in a home, or we came from that profession. So putting it into perspective, most people say, hey, I value my time between $200 and $500 an hour. That's the range I get the most. And then occasionally you'll get somebody that's like, yeah, $1,000 an hour. And they're like, anyways. So when you think about that, the $200 to $500 an hour minimum, if a basic CRM system that's set up properly is saving you 10 hours, that's $2,000 to $5,000 a week that people are getting back in their time that they can spend on more revenue generating activities. And when you put it like that, it blows my mind why more people aren't in this and understanding the power of CRMs. And really that's why you and I exist and why we founded Capitallyst Pro, because we're wanting people we want to change that. Like the CRM needs to be the main part of your business. We work with Russell Gray, and he put it in a very good way that I've since taken and copied. But he says your CRM is really the central nervous system to your business. That's where all the information, leads, everything are flowing through and into. So yeah, it's I would say 10 hours minimum, and to your point, I think that's being conservative. Okay, so again, another personal question for you. What does true financial freedom look like to you, and how does raising capital responsibly fit into that vision?
A lot of people get into this business because of that concept of being financially free. And that's why I got into it, because it's like, okay, I'm sitting here at a 9-to-5 job, and there's all these people that are almost 60 years old. They can't retire because everything's too expensive, and they have maybe $300,000 in retirement money. You can't live off that very long. It might last a little bit. So just the idea of raising money, helping other people out with their wealth, creating a good deal that can sustain that and grow that wealth, but also help me out as well. And so financial freedom to me, and we talk about this all the time. Yeah. Like, what does this mean to you? And I think it means different for everybody. But this might sound silly, but just to be able to take like a group of 15 or 20 people, maybe it's family, friends, whatever, to dinner and pay for everybody to eat. Like, that's super silly. But just the fact that like you don't even have to look at the receipt to pay for dinner. Like, that's financial freedom. Be able to go and do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want, and not have the stresses of that financial, thing always in the back of your mind. Like, okay, how are we gonna pay next month's mortgage or rent or whatever? So to me, it's just the relief of knowing that you're taken care of.
When I think about the opportunities that capital raising really presents and why we focus on it, not why we help others, for me, it really comes down to flexibility and opportunity. And you and I, we're in the same boat in this sense where we can't just sit around. We need something that we're working on. We need to feel productive. It's just part of who we are. And what we realized a couple of years ago when we were raising capital for our fund, we realized, because we were chasing deals, we were underwriting deals, talking to brokers, we were trying to raise capital, we were trying to do it all. We realized that if we could figure out the capital raising game, we would never have to look for a deal again. The deals would come to us. And that's how we've operated for the last 2 years. We focus on the relationships, building trust, raising capital, and then these incredible operators then approach us and say, hey, we have this deal. So now we're not spending all this time underwriting and talking to brokers and competing and submitting offers and LOIs just to get them all rejected. We get brought in when it's already there, ready to go. And I think that's really helped us focus on our strengths, which is building trust and connecting with people. But when it comes to raising capital, it doesn't matter if it's real estate or business or something else. Like, if you can figure out how to raise capital, opportunities are going to be all around you. And the cool thing with raising capital is it's flexible. You can raise it from your phone. You can raise it from your computer. You don't have to be in person. I think that definitely helps accelerate it. So when I think about financial freedom, I think about flexibility and opportunity. And for me, raising capital is it. And it's been a blast because you and I are able to serve people in a different capacity, right? It was investors getting into our deals. Now it's other operators just getting their systems in place so that they can serve their investors at a higher caliber.
Workflow that's been a total game changer in building investor trust at scale.
We talk about this all the time. You can't 100% automate a capital raise. You cannot do it. And the reality is people need that connection at the end of the day. So this workflow or automation, it's not revolutionary, but it's one that we've seen work time and time again, and it ties into the engagement scoring that we talked about earlier. It's not just the engagement scoring. It's so simple, it's going to sound dumb. It's the notification of when they hit a certain point in the pipeline or at a certain level of the engagement scoring, because we're not always tracking that. You can sort through it, you can look at it in the CRM, but that notification that then gets pinged to us, and we have it set up so it goes to our Slack channel and to our personal phone saying, hey, so-and-so hit this point, or they did this. It notifies us, and then we're able to then step in with a personal touch point. And like I said, you can't automate 100% of the communication in the raise, but there are internal systems you can automate. And for us, that's it. Being notified that when somebody does something, then you can reach out personally. And this happened actually just the other day, not as it relates to capital raising, but to Capitallyst Pro, the CRM. So we have a chat widget on our website that people can go in and ask a question. And we don't monitor that 24/7. So we have an automation that when somebody submits a message, they get a text back from our work number saying, hey, just want to let you know, we got your request. We're tied up with other people. We'll get back to you shortly. So the person that submits it gets that message, and then our team internally gets notified saying, hey, so-and-so just submitted a message, and then boom, it's on our radar, and it creates a task in the CRM to do it. So this happened just the other day. And when we got notified, I actually recognized the name. It's somebody that I've known for, probably over 2 years now. And so when I saw that their question came in, I didn't think twice about it. I just picked up my phone and I called them. And I was just like, hey, so-and-so. Well, he answered. He's like, hey, this is so-and-so. I was like, hey, it's Dallin. He's like, Dallin, hey, how you doing? I was like, hey, the team mentioned that you had submitted a request. And when they mentioned your name, I was like, I know him. I'll just give him a call. So that simple automation or workflow, it's not revolutionary. It was just keeping people on our radar, if that makes sense, at the right time.
Yeah, I love that. Being able to, especially if you recognize the name, just having that automated so you can kind of filter out who you reach out to. But yeah, that's huge. It was a twist for sure. I wasn't expecting you to say that workflow. But yeah, just being able to notify and and remind us to do manual actions, because capital raising is a very personal thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's your turn.
Okay.
To ask.
We're struggling going back and forth. A lot of good content though. Hope you guys are enjoying this. We're just sharing with you our firsthand experiences, either what we've gone through or what we've seen for our users. So, all right. Where do you see the biggest breakdown in most people's capital raising process? Is it getting leads? Is it nurturing them? Or is it converting them?
Because all of us, like, I shouldn't say all of us, but most people, they probably know 1,000 people or more, or they have Facebook or Instagram followers, LinkedIn followers, stuff like that. So I don't necessarily think leads is the biggest problem that they struggle with, because you can have a webinar and, have people opt in or whatever it is. But nurturing them is where people fall short. And it's the easiest one, because you can automate the nurture, right? If you can automate the nurture to a point, know where they're at in their journey, you know how engaged they are. If you meet them where they're at, the close can be simple.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, you still need to have some skills in being able to influence and persuade somebody that it's the best option for them. But again, if you can nurture to that point, then the close is a little bit more simple.
And it comes down to building trust. And I've shared this before. Like, it seems like so many people treat capital raising as a one-night stand. So they go in looking to score, that person says no, and they get rejected, and then they move on to somebody else, rather than sitting there and trying to get to know that person and determine if the alignment is there. I mean, these are relationships, these are partnerships at the end of the day. So whether you're raising capital for business or for real estate, I mean, 3 to 5 years minimum on average in most situations. So yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. Tell us about a time when inconsistent communication costs a capital raiser a potential investor. What could have prevented it?
Can that capital raiser be me?
Sure.
Oh man, we talk about this a lot. And this was before we had a system. This was before we had Capitallyst Pro. We had an investor just sold his business. So he's sitting on capital. And somebody that you actually know. You've known him for a while, and a lot of trust was built there, and we had multiple conversations. He was newer to apartment investing, so we had a lot of good Zoom calls, a lot of meetings, just educating and just building that rapport and trust, and helping him understand everything that goes into this. And he's like, "Yep, guys, I'm in." He's like, "I'm in," and he's like, "I got some additional capital coming in a couple months, so reach out to me then," which is fine because we didn't have a deal in that moment, so we weren't in a rush, which is actually the best time to raise capital. So he was in. He's like, "Yep, I got a couple $100,000. I'm in." Sweet. So we went silent for about 3 months because we didn't have a deal. A deal comes up 3 months later. Call him up. Be like, "Hey, we got a deal. You still interested?" What he said next, just like, this is a core memory, not a good one, but a core memory that I think really helped us get us to where we were. He said, "Dallin, I wish you called me 2 weeks ago. I just invested that money with somebody else because I forgot what it was. I forgot that you guys did this. I forgot that we had a conversation about it." And in my mind, I'm like, how do you forget about that? We had multiple conversations. You were committed, right? Like we thought we did all the right steps, and we did. What we lacked, and the thing that we missed, was that nurturing. We weren't staying top of mind. Had we been staying top of mind, had I been pinging them every couple weeks saying something like, "Hey, we just looked at this deal, didn't fit our criteria, we'll keep you updated." Had I been doing that every couple weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, guarantee we wouldn't have missed out on that. So that was a painful mistake that we experienced ourselves, and we were on a mission to make sure our users don't experience something similar.
Yeah, great answer.
I like it. Okay. How often do you think good investors slip through the cracks simply because of poor follow-up? Wait, did you just ask me that one?
No, I said, tell us about a time when inconsistent communication costs a capital raiser an investor.
Oh, so this one's, how do you think good investors slip through the cracks simply because of poor follow-up or inconsistent communication?
Yeah, I wanted to add something to yours.
Okay,
so
perfect.
I'll just add it now. It's perfect timing. I was just thinking about that experience. So within the 2 to 3 months that we didn't have a deal, yes, you can personally outreach, you can do stuff like that. But just think about how uneducated people are with investing. Whether it's a business, whether it's, real estate, whatever. But what if you were to send automated emails every single week? You're top of mind. Maybe you're posting on social media too, so another touch point. And you're educating them the tax benefits.
You're inviting them to workshops and
you're
webinars.
Inviting them to workshops. Maybe they don't know that they can, write off all this tax, cost segregation. Maybe you're educating them on investing with self-directed IRAs. A lot of people don't know they can do that. So in the meantime, you're educating, nurturing them, and it could potentially give them another idea of like, oh yeah, I have $500,000 in a self-directed IRA. I didn't even know I could do that. So that's how you keep people from falling through the cracks.
Yeah. I like it.
Cool. That was an easy one.
Yeah. It's ironic how both of those just lined up back to back that way. But I think it kind of shows too how important that piece of it is.
Yeah. All right. What's one experience that stands out where a well-timed follow-up turned a cold lead into a committed investor?
That's kind of a tough question because it's very rare that somebody goes from a cold lead to an investor very quickly. It takes time. We did have a situation where it went from a cold lead to a $350,000 investor within like 3 weeks. But there was a mutual connection that had already invested with us. So once this new investor learned that this person had invested with us, the association was there, it accelerated it. But that doesn't have to do with a well-timed follow-up. I think that's important though. Like maybe we touch on that real quick is the associations.
Yeah.
So trying to focus in on a specific group of people or in a geographically similar area, right? Where people, it's like, oh, so-and-so invested with you. Okay. So I think that's something to touch on here. In regards to a specific well-timed follow-up,
I think you could be vague with it, maybe. You can't think of one.
Yeah, I can't think of something specifically. We've talked a lot about through this the importance of that notification when somebody reaches out, when they hit a certain level of their engagement score. So yeah, since I can't think of one off the top of my head, I would just, I guess, reemphasize that is well-timed follow-ups. Sometimes you don't know. And if you have a good system in place, if you're tracking engagement and you're seeing the activity of those people, that can lead to more strategic follow-ups. And then there's a lot of times too, you and I have talked about this, we just reach out. Timing, I think, has a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah.
The system may not be tracking everything, and you happen to reach out to this person and they're like, oh yeah, I'm so glad that you reached out. I actually am looking for this. So with that, in those situations that we've experienced, we didn't have something or a system telling us, hey, reach out to this person. It was just, we were going through our phones, we were going through our contact list. But I think that shows how important it is to have that invitation consistently going out, because you don't know when people are going to be ready or who's even watching you. Another piece to this that we've both experienced, we'll reach out to somebody or they'll reach out to us and say, hey, I've been following you for 6 months. I've been tracking you for 12 months, right? They're not liking, they're not commenting, they're not engaging, they're not doing anything until they reach out to you. So that's shown you and I that people are always watching. And you mentioned that earlier. People are always watching and observing what you're doing. So yeah, I think just having that good system and just having something that automatically is making those touch points as well, because you don't know when somebody will be ready. And you can't guess that. Like you don't know what they're going through in their life. So if you have that system that's providing those micro touch points and keeping you top of mind, who's going to be the first person they think of? This happened yesterday. Somebody is getting ready to launch a fund. They were raising capital for other people before using their systems and whatever they had in place, and they decided to take it on themselves. So we jumped on a call yesterday, and he's like, yeah, when we started thinking about, hey, what tools, what systems we need, he's like, why am I spending all this time doing this? I know Dallin, and I know that he's got the Capitallyst Pro CRM, and so he just reached out to me. This is somebody that we've known for over 18 months, but where he was at, he wasn't ready for it. He wasn't ready for the tool. But when he was, we were the ones that he thought of. And I think that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah, I think you can predict or like guide the perfect timing. And just to close that little thought there, if you're not top of mind, we say this all the time, if you're not top of mind, somebody else will be. And so if you're consistent and regularly on top of mind of somebody, they're going to keep you in mind, and they're going to probably invest with you rather than somebody else.
Yeah, I like it. Okay. Why do you think so many capital raisers struggle to stay organized once they start juggling multiple deals and investor lists?
They're at capacity. We hear this all the time. Oh yeah, I'll get a CRM when I got a deal. You know?
That's the worst time to get a CRM.
I'll get a CRM when I have a deal. It'll be perfect timing because I'll raise money just like that. No, it takes time. You're already at capacity. So get your systems in place now, build that foundation so that when you do have a deal, it'll free up that time for you to be able to raise some capital.
Yeah, well said. I got nothing to add to it.
How have you seen people being able to maintain a personal touch when automating so many things in their business?
This is challenging. And this is where I think a lot of people struggle right now, especially with AI and automation. We're seeing it. We're seeing it across the board with emails, with content. It seems to be becoming less and less personalized. And they're great tools. And I think it can free up a lot of time. But you've got to maintain that personal connection. We've talked about this a lot already. So going back, ask the question again, because my brain's already going 100 miles an hour.
How have you seen people being able to maintain a personal touch when automating so many things?
Okay. There's some things to automate. There's some things that shouldn't be automated. You should be personally reaching out to that person. Maybe it's not every single week. That'd be kind of weird. If somebody was reaching out to me every single week, I'd be like, all right, bro, stop stalking me.
Yeah.
But maybe it's once a month. And that personal outreach, maybe it's a voice memo. Maybe it's a selfie video. Maybe it's a handwritten note, right? So that can stack up, especially if you're building a list of a few hundred investors and then you start growing a few thousand leads, right? I think knowing when to do that personal outreach is critical. And we talked about this that was the workflow, the automation that I mentioned. So whatever your process looks like in building trust with people, and maybe you don't know what that is. And if that's where you're at, start there. Like put together that framework, put together what that looks like of what these people need to go through. And then at different points in their journey, that's where you can insert a notification for personal touch. So maybe starting out, it's a voice memo, and then you send a selfie video, and the system's notifying you because it's automated. It's tracking those certain things. Or if they do certain things, if they schedule a call or if they register for a workshop, maybe it pings you. It says, hey, Paul just registered for a workshop. So I take 30 seconds, send a voice memo to Paul. Hey, Paul, saw you register for a workshop. Really looking forward to seeing you there. Who does that? Nobody.
Yeah.
How much time does that take out of your schedule? Not very much, right? So it's little things like that. And then as they progress through that trust timeline and you're building more of a relationship, then maybe you do handwritten notes or things that might take a little bit more time. And so again, just getting clarity on that journey on that trust timeline, and then strategically inserting those personal touch points along the way, and then let the system keep you top of mind on autopilot, right? Like we talked about, and then let it notify you when they hit certain metrics or I call them anchor points. Like when they hit those certain anchor points, that shows you like, hey, this person they're more engaged and they're moving along.
Yeah, that's why list segmentation, like if you have 5 to 10,000 leads in your system, obviously you don't have the time to send a selfie video to every single one of them, right? So it's like, hey, what are the top warmest 100 leads this month that I need to reach out to?
Yeah.
Let the system notify you.
Yeah.
Cool.
I had another thought on that, but it slipped my mind. So it's good. I like it. It's good stuff. What are the key differences you've noticed between someone who has a clear investor nurture process and someone who doesn't?
What are the key differences?
Key differences you've noticed between someone who has a clear investor nurture process and someone who doesn't.
It's funny because we meet with people or our users. We have open office hour 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday for an hour. They can jump on. We can help them build stuff, answer questions real time. Like it's a really good opportunity. And I notice the people who attend a lot, they have the proper systems in place. Those who maybe attend not at all or whatever, they don't. You can tell the difference in the level of stress that they're facing in their life. If you spend a little bit of time and effort in learning the system, mapping out the journey that you want to take somebody from cold to investor, and spend a little extra effort to build it out with our team's help too. You know, you're not in it alone. It's just, the level of stress. That's the biggest difference that I can see in people that have proper systems in place or not.
They're being proactive versus reactive. Yeah. Because a lot of people, they'll get that deal under contract, be like, oh shit, I got to raise $10 million, right? So yeah, it's just having that, it's just being proactive. Yeah, being proactive about it. So
what's the biggest aha moment you've seen a client experience once they realized how much time they were losing on manual follow-ups?
Oh man, I don't remember the specifics of this conversation with this user. And his partner was an active user of ours, and he was being brought on into that partnership. So he got access to Capitallyst Pro. So he still wanted to jump on a call, better understand the tool and kind of walk through it, just like we would take a new user through. So I had the privilege of jumping on a call with them. And most people, I would say, are visual learners. I am for sure. Like I have to see something, and then once I see something, it creates this image in my mind. And if I can see a process from start to finish, like I'm all in, and that's what I need. If I just see little segments of it, it's very difficult. And with all the content we put out and what people hear about Capitallyst Pro, I think they're getting like little segments of it. And so when it comes to comparing us to other CRMs or other similar solutions, it's a little bit more difficult to differentiate in that aspect. But once we were able to jump on a call and I walked him through and I showed him everything from how to generate the lead, how it flows into the system, how it nurtures them, how it tracks the engagement scoring, how it automatically moves them through the pipeline so you manually don't have to do it, and then how it notifies you. And then when it gets to a certain point, it extends an invitation for a call or a soft commitment form or things like that. Once I was able to show him that visibly, he was just like you could just see it, like, holy cow, you guys really manage, your tool can really manage everything from start to finish, from generating a lead to nurturing them to a point where they're ready to wire funds. And I said, yes. And he's like, I get it now. And so that's one of our biggest challenges is with how much is incorporated into what we do, helping people see the bigger vision. But yeah, that was an aha moment where I had the ability to witness that, because he grasped what we're on a mission to do. And so that was pretty cool. All right, I think we're last question, for each one of us.
Yep.
So, okay. What's one thing you wish more capital raisers automated? Ooh, this is good. So I didn't finish it. What's one thing you wish more capital raisers automated, not to remove the human touch, but to create more time for it?
Everything just seems to be bleeding together. I don't want to totally regurgitate what we've already talked about, and it's important to automate 80 to 90%. I think of it as just utilizing the system, the CRM, to do those little just minute tasks and things that you don't want to do, right? That take a lot of brain power and whatnot. Use a system to do that. Automation is awesome, but there's a point where you do need to reach out personally and educate personally and nurture that relationship. You don't want a robot nurturing your relationships for you, or I guess you can nurture the relationship. I would say building the relationship is a very personal thing.
Yeah. I had a thought as you were answering this, and I was pondering on it. One of the things that we've learned in our business, and one of the things we try to relate to our users, is qualifying the lead before you even get on a call with them. And I think the natural tendency is to just ask people to jump on a call. That's the ask. That's a call to action, jump on a call. Now, that's a big jump for a lot of people if they're new. If they're like, hey, I just heard about you. I don't want to jump on a call yet because I know you're going to try to sell me. The trust isn't there. So I think they ask prematurely. But those that do agree to a call, what we have found is that first call, first of all, you should never be pitching the deal. And I think most people, I would hope most people are aware of that. But what they end up doing is they go through the qualification on the phone. Yeah. Are you an accredited investor? How much are you looking to? All these things where all of that can be automated. All of that can be done through a quiz funnel, through clarifying forms, documents. It can be, hey, watch this. And so by the time we jump on a call, we can be more intentional with our time. This is the goal for this call. This is what we've seen to be most effective. So if someone's willing to go through that, and you don't want to make it so difficult that it creates so much friction, people just say no, but you've got to have a gatekeeper. You got to have something there to help qualify and disqualify people. Otherwise, you're jumping on the call with people that aren't even qualified, and you're wasting that time when you could have a tool or a system done for you. So I think people need to put more time and focus on how they're qualifying who they get on calls with. Because if you don't respect your time, they sure as hell won't.
Yeah, dude, thanks so much for bringing that up. I completely didn't even think about that, but that is very important. And we've built our framework and system and given you the special tools to be able to really qualify and disqualify and make it fun. A lot of people have investor questionnaire forms, boring, but if you have an investor questionnaire quiz,
make it interactive. It's choose your journey, choose your path. And we have those pre-built for our users. So it's pretty cool. But I love this part to the question, not to remove the human touch, but to create more time for it. So that's really what it comes down to. And that's what we do here. We don't remove or replace the human touch. We automate things so it allows more time for it to happen.
Golden. We should make t-shirts on that.
Yeah.
With that quote. All right, last one.
All right.
If every capital raiser had a system that handled the follow-up while they focused on the relationship, how different would their results be?
Oh, you'd see it in the capital they raise. 100%. They would raise capital more predictably and more consistently. Because once you have that system, once you have that machine, once you have that process in place, then it's just a matter of feeding it. And what a lot of people don't realize too is every time you interact with a potential investor, even from that first interaction and the multiple touch points throughout, they're assessing you. And if your follow-up's shitty, if your follow-up is sporadic, if you don't look like you have your stuff together, within those first few conversations of just educating them and keeping them informed. And this is why it's so important that you have some sort of system or process. Let people know. They don't know. They've never done this before. So having a system or a process and say, hey, next thing we're going to do is we're going to jump on a call. This call is not to talk about the deal. We can worry about that later. I want to understand your focus, your investment goals, make sure the alignment is there. If we both determine that it is, then what we'll do is we'll schedule a follow-up call and we'll get into more depth of the deal itself. But actually, before we schedule that call, we have a recorded webinar that we did on this. And this webinar is going to answer 80 to 90% of the questions you're going to ask me. I'm just being honest with you. So after this call, if we determine the alignment's there, and if I sent you that recording, any reason you wouldn't watch that before our next call? And if they're in agreement, if the trust is there, they're going to say, yeah, no, not a problem. So they already know the next step before we even started that first call. So having that system, having that process, that instills confidence with people. So if you don't even have a system in place up early at this point in the journey, you're losing trust and you don't even realize it.
Yeah. Like, I'm just thinking back to when I first started raising capital. It's kind of embarrassing. It was like, hey, you're raising $100,000 to, $500,000 from some people. If you look professional.
Yeah.
Be professional. If you don't have a good system in place, how are they going to trust you with writing you a $100,000 check?
Yeah. I'm not saying you could. I mean, it's
you can still do it, but
the point that we're making here is people are watching. Impressions matter, and it starts from the very first interaction. So, what better place to focus on your systems and your processes than within your CRM? So, 100%. Man, those were some good questions.
This was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Got us thinking. So, I'm glad we were able to put those together. So, look, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. Got some insight into our experience, not just as the founders of Capitallyst Pro, but raising capital as well, and got to hear some experiences of some of our users. If you've raised $5 to $10 million or more, and you've done it without a system, we need to have a conversation. So if you're curious on learning a little bit more about Capitallyst Pro, just click on the demo link in the description. That's a pre-recorded demo. It's going to provide you a high level of really a lot of what we talked about today. That's going to be the visual piece to what we discussed. And if it makes sense for us to jump on a call, let's do it. We're here to assist you. We're here to help you. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you walked away with some value.
Thanks, guys.